What's up, everybody? So today I got my man Yo Fonz in the chair, the living legend himself.
But wait a minute, it wouldn't be fair to do it by yourself, bro.
Man,
it would not be fair. So we gotta do this together, all right? So what are we working on?
So not only do we have him in the chair, but today we have him in the studio as well, and he's gonna go ahead and help me out with this. This tutorial. So right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to create shape in the taper area, but also over the ear. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some clipper over comb. I have the comb rather, tighter on the bottom than on the top of the comb. I kind of lean it out so that I can, just do that clipper over comb and create the shape that I'm looking for before we taper into it. Because one of my pet peeves, I don't know about yours, is that hair that just poofs out over the ear.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I like how you create that shape with the clipper over comb. I must say, I don't really do it that often. And after you cut my hair, I literally went back to the shop and started doing it more. So shout outs to you on that little touch, man. Because normally I just go and use my guards. Once in a while I'll do a little clipper over comb, but the way you did it, and this is the first time I actually see the footage, but I could tell, guys, whenever he was doing something different, because that's the beauty of another barber being able to cut your hair. You get to pay attention to how they go about it, obviously by just the feel of it, right? So I could tell the whole time that you're cutting my hair, the amount of detail that went into your fade, based on just the amount of I can feel the different angles whenever you just use the corners to you refining it. And I mean, it was interesting all around. And I mean, I gotta say though, I am not a fan of magnetic guards. I literally, you can ask the fellas at the shop, I've given up on them. Okay. I can't do it. I hate when they stick to each other and you're in a rush. Because my slots right now still demand me to be a little bit more tight on time. And it sucks, I hate it. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about it while we were in the shop. I mean, how long did you go doing those short slots?
So I was doing the short slots for a couple years actually, and as the demand grew, then I went ahead and and I noticed that people started giving me more money for the cut, and people was appreciating the quality of the cut. And because of that, I realized in my mind there was a certain number that I wanted to hit each week, and I was not just hitting that number, but exceeding that number. Yeah. So with that being said, I went ahead and I knew that if I cut my clientele in half and took more time on each clientele, that I could still hit that number that I wanted. So that's kind of how it all started out. Yeah. And then it gave me that time to, just spend more time on each customer. But I still like to save time, and as you can see, whenever I first started out in the taper area, I came in, instead of with the trimmer, I came in with the clipper, balled it out, opened up my wall senior and hit it. And now I'm actually trying a technique that I use from watching Christopher Manyweathers on Dead Stock's video. Shout out to Manyweather, doing a great job.
He's killing it.
But he did 2 haircuts in 10 minutes. They weren't complete haircuts, but they were passable haircuts. And I said, you know what? If he can do 2 haircuts in 10 minutes with that system, I need to know what that system is. So he used the seniors to come in, set his bald line, open them up, hit the second guide, and just kind of blended it out. Then he had the masters waiting. And so anyways, he opened the masters straight up and went in with the open blade, and then kind of went halfway, and then he jumped on the detachable blade, a 1.5 detachable blade. So I kind of didn't use the detachable blade with this cut. That's why I went with the seniors, bald, and then open, and then I jumped into the number 2 or the 1.5 magnetic guard on the master, and then I went ahead and just took that off and went with the 0 to blend it all in.
I've never gone and done that, man. I've never tried to do a whole fade with detachable guards. I know that is, I mean, that's how a lot of people did it for a long time. And those metal blades, man, they could cut hair so smooth, man.
I love them. They're some of my favorites.
I have a few. I have a whole setup that I got in barber school for $25.
Oh, I'll buy them from you.
Yo. But anyways, what we doing back here, Shannon?
So back here, we went ahead and did the same exact thing, created our first guideline with the wall senior, and then I opened it up, and then I kind of closed it halfway because there's really no need to close it all the way back up, being we went in with that.
Yeah.
Same thing, instead of jumping into that 1.5 detachable blade, being a lot of people don't have detachable blades, I went in with the 1.5, or it could be a 2. I think it's a 1.5 guard on the back just to knock down that bolt, kind of flicking out to taper into that, and then I'll go into that 0 guard open and then the 0 guard close to knock out that dark prominent line that's there now.
And I see that you're using that comb. Why are you using the comb instead of not a brush?
So whenever I'm doing longer hair, I like to use the comb. Whenever I'm really working on my details, I like to use the brush. I know a lot of people like to use a comb throughout the whole thing. Some people like a brush throughout the whole thing. I feel like the comb in the longer areas, it works good. But now you see I switched over to my brush because I'm down in that 0 guard or half guard, length. So
yeah. So anything, what would you say? Anything past like a 1.5? That's when you start bringing.
Yeah, anything past a 1.5.
Under should I say?
I'm gonna use a comb.
Okay.
Yeah, anything under.
Okay. All right.
Well, I'll use a comb above
but
a
1.5 and under.
Yeah, if I'm even around a 1, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the brush. Anything under that.
Yeah. So I was about to ask you to cut the curls a little bit, but I find it to. I mean, I still want to grow it out. But when it comes to curls, man, I feel like it could be a pain too, man. Like,
it is a pain.
It's a pain, curls, man. I didn't even want you to go. I didn't want to put you through that. I know you can't do it. But I'm gonna just keep going with it and see where I can take it. But I mean, once in a while, I get clients that have curls, maybe a little bit looser than mine, and they'll mention a trim. Like, trim. Bro, curls are not easy to cut at all. In that way, if we're talking about like shears and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, so I mean,
it's challenging.
You get a few clients once in a while to say something like that, like, "Yo, Shannon, hit me up," with a little trim on the curls, and then, like, to me, it's like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I
mean, at your prices. That I'll be a little bit more patient with it, but it is frustrating at my prices because I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
But at my prices, to do a trim plus a fade in the beard, that's tough. A trim on curls, on straight hair is different.
Well,
on
see,
curls,
for me, I kind of cheat on curls because I already know that with the curls, they're not going to be able to see the difference anyways. You know what I mean? They'll see that it's shorter, it's trimmed.
Okay.
But I'm not looking for perfection because I know once I wet it anyways, it's all going to tighten back up.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't be able to see the real length anyhow. You know what I'm saying?
So how would you have gone about it? You would have just picked it out?
I kind of pick it out, just give me enough room to get my hands in it. And then I just, do it like I'll do anything else and cut it.
So you would do the clipper or the it would be clipper.
Yeah,
over
I do
right?
clipper over finger on my.
We actually spoke about it shortly for a little bit on. I don't know if you guys can notice that bump on his hand. He was telling me how he got it and the reason why he does that technique versus using shears. And the whole time, I'm not gonna lie, I was like looking at your hand, thinking this must hurt because I see the bump over his hand and I mean, you've been doing this for almost 30 years and I remember some of the OGs telling me that after a few years you start feeling your body kind of change and it's your back might start hurting a little bit, your knees. So the whole time I'm looking at your hand, I'm like, man, I hope this doesn't hurt as much because that would suck.
Yeah, so it does suck, man. That's why I don't use shears to cut most of the bulk of the stuff. I'll use my shear over comb technique to do details. However, if I'm gonna cut anything off, I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and do clipper over finger to knock it out simply because it does hurt, it does cramp up, and some people might be, that are real into, the using the shears. They may say, oh, he can't use shears. I can use any tool you put in my hands, you know what I mean? But for me, I've just found that it's more comfortable throughout the day, and I
seen Kendrick started using it in the shop while I was over there hanging out with you. And Kendricks is somebody that uses all these fancy techniques and fancy. And one day, actually, I think it was that day you were cutting my hair. I'm looking to the side, and Kendricks is doing it, and this is on straight hair. So
I feel like whatever you can do with shears, you can do with clippers for the most part. So that's what I do.
How long you been using that technique?
Well, I would say at least 20 years. Yeah, so whenever I was working at my uncle's shop, my uncle actually had vacuums in the walls that attached to the clippers. So basically what we would do, instead of sweeping the floor all the time, every time we would do a fade, the hair would get sucked up into the clipper. And we just kind of figured instead of using shears, we would just use clipper over finger, and it would suck it right up into the vacuum that was in the back room as well.
You guys had the vacuum?
Yes, sir.
Bro, I heard stories about that.
Yeah, man.
So wait a minute, it just... Was it kind of like how it is with the compressed air? It was like a whole system?
Yeah. So basically inside the walls, behind the stations, they had the hoses, like the tubes that went from every station into the wall, into the back room where there was a big vacuum container that sucked all the hair.
This was in Florida?
In Florida, yeah, in my hometown. And South Florida, represent.
But let's talk about this lineup, man. I struggle. I have a receding, I have a receding lineup. My corners are going in. I call it the McDonald's arches. And
you're doing a great job concealing it. I can tell you that, right?
Bro,
now.
I mean, you were asking me how much did I want from the front lineup to be shortened so this lineup could be, tight. And I told you just a little bit, just the least amount, because I want to keep everything else just to keep that area dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like how you went about it, bro.
Yeah, so I barely cut anything off. I don't even know that I trimmed anything off with a guard. I just went straight in with the trimmers. Kind of combed down just a little bit. Once we combed it down, I just went ahead and lined it up, and then I hit you with that color and with the hair fibers. Let me ask you this, as a client that is concerned with some kind of receding, a lot of people may watch this video and really hate on the fact that I'm about to do color enhancement and hair fibers.
Yeah.
After getting that color enhancement with the hair fiber, what was your thoughts?
I mean, first of all, I knew that I wanted it. So I walked in knowing that you were gonna use it, and in that sense, I appreciate it, dude. I mean, look at how nice already it's looking. You haven't really even started yet. The magic hasn't started, and to me, I appreciate it. Are there clients out there that don't want it? Yeah, but that's not the clients you have.
That's right.
You cater to the clients that want this type of service. So I think that the beauty of the whole thing is that there's a set of clients for it.
Absolutely.
And if you're into it, hey, go for it. Go for it. You just gotta market it though, and you do a good job marketing it.
Thank you, sir.
On IG, if you're not following S.Craft on IG, you gotta go ahead and follow S.Craft on IG. And while you're on IG, go ahead and follow me if you're not following me. But let's worry about this mustache real quick. Let's get into the whiskers.
So what I did on the whiskers was basically I had my number 1 or sometimes a 0 guard, and I just go ahead and close it, and I go down with the grain of the hair, because we want to keep it full and thick. For me, whenever you go up against it, sometimes you can cut it too short, so I like to go with it. It cleans it up nice, but it keeps it fuller. And then I just came in and lined it up with my new Andis GTX Exos.
Look, I'm not gonna talk too much on the Andis. I'm just gonna keep going back to this lineup. I can't even stop looking at this lineup. I'm seeing you real quick line me up on a mustache, and all of a sudden I'm back on the lineup. You're not even working on it anymore. Okay, hold up, putting pressure on the beard.
Yes, sir.
Yo, guys, naturally I don't connect. I'm still hopeful one day it could come in, but till then, Shannon's gotta fill it in, bro. And it's cool with me. because I look sharp that day.
And you know what? And that's the thing. Sometimes, you know, it may not last a week. It may not last 2 weeks. But if you're going out with your wife or you're going out to a party, you might as well go ahead and run it. Because then you're going to look as sharp as you possibly can. And that's what it's all about, you know?
Yo, the other thing I really appreciate that you do, and I don't see a lot of people do, is that you do a really good job blending the color.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't really, there's not a lot out there for me to learn on that. And I mean, just seeing you do that the whole time. Look at that. The shape on the beard is crazy.
Yeah, so whenever I spray it, I like to brush it. But that's the finished look.
Wait, we're done?
We are done, bro.
Bro, 18 minutes already?
18 minutes already.
What the heck?
Come on. And I'm about to let you go ahead and tell us what you think on the video here in person.
Yeah, I did say some things.
Yeah. So that's it, guys.
Ooh.
Fonz, thanks for being with me, brother.
Bro, anytime, bro. Anytime. We're going to have to do this again.
Absolutely. Oh, look at that. My man's loving it already.
Yo. Listen, I've been cut by a lot of people on YouTube. This is some pressure right now. For the ones that been goated in the past, y'all got some pressure going on right now, because this right here is different. I'm going to leave it up to y'all, but I'm goating this haircut right here. This is goated. Y'all see this lineup? This is the sharpest lineup I've ever had. I'm sorry, Bean, Jeezy, Basio, Matt. Yo, he killed this, bro. He killed this. I'm so mad though, because this was right before a trip. I didn't even get to go out with Devonda, my wife, to do, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to go, we're gonna have to do it again. As a matter of fact, I want to do a video cutting your hair.
That sounds good.
You know what I'm saying? So what do y'all think? Should I cut Shannon's hair or what? Let me know in the comments below if we should run it. I want to get this video to at least 1,000 likes. All right, make sure you share it. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you can get it to 1,000 likes, we're gonna run a video. All right, so till then, Shannon.
Peace.
Peace.